reviewed the current charter? Kate, how many feel they need to have some time in which to review the current charter before going forward with some other dealings? My thought is that we're going to probably end up scheduling on pretty much the same day. By that I mean, is it going to be the first Tuesday of the month, that type of thing, for our future meetings, and we'll have a series of meetings. One meeting will probably be just the people that are involved with the city, elected officials, people that work for the city, come forward and express any views they have about any charter changes. Then we'll probably have a meeting of, that's the general public, so we can get everybody's views and then see what else we need to get all the input for us to finally determine if, in fact, we need to make any changes to the charter. Now, keep in mind, I don't know how many of you know the process of changing the charter. The charter requires a 10-year review, and this is, let's see, it started in 1960. I think this is about the 6th review, maybe, something like that. And it has been amended probably about every time, and it varies. But all we do in our business job is to make recommendations to City Council, and then City Council determines whether they want to take them to the voters or not. We have no say in that. The only say we have is in our report how we recommend them to City Council. But, we may say, here's all we got. We got 15 different changes. We're going to leave it up to you to make the determination. But I think we might want to think about doing a little more than just passing them all on, because we're probably going to deal with the history of changes and see what's happened over the years, the changes that were made, changes that were approved, changes that weren't approved, because not every change that went to the voters has been approved, and there are certain areas that the charter is different from the state of Ohio, and sometimes people don't like what they see there, they want to change. One of the things might be like the term of council. It's all 2 years. Somebody might say, well, we don't want to do it every 2 years, maybe we want to change that term to 4 years. Well, that has been tried and didn't go anywhere. And there are other differences. Sometimes civil service rules might come into play, but we'll see what comes down the pike. So I guess the next order of business really is try to see if we can come up with a common date. I'm thinking once a month. I don't think we need to meet more often than that. I think we have, what's our deadline for actually submitting it to council? By the end of this year?
By the end of this year, we'd submit it, and then council will take it up at their leisure, preferably next January.
Right.
But that can all be altered by, resolution or ordinance of council as well.
Right. So I don't think we need to meet right now more than once a month. So is there any thoughts about a good day starting, so that we meet the same day each month? And Mondays is probably not a good day because of all the council meetings that are held on Monday. And so I guess it's up to each of us to kind of determine and come to a conclusion of what is the best day once a month for the next 4 or 5 months to meet.
With council meeting on Monday, committees typically meet Tuesdays, or
now, what
are the other
Kate,
evenings?
Council's regular meetings are the first and third Monday of each month. What council generally does on the second and fourth, or where there's a fifth Monday, they always have finance committee, and is it community development, or is it another one?
Community development, that's correct.
They meet on those off Mondays. That's why I don't think Monday is the best day for us to set up our meetings. What's the other day that council meets?
Typically, Wednesdays are utility meetings, and again, they're usually on the off weeks, though that has changed at the pleasure of that committee chair, Donna Mitchell.
Okay.
So, but typically, it's Wednesdays. And one other thing, Kate mentioned Tuesdays, potentially. This doesn't happen very often, but it happens in September, for example. If the first Monday of the month, or any Monday of the month, is a holiday, like Labor Day in that case, the council meeting gets moved to the succeeding or Tuesday.
Because the other time, the other thing in addition to the day of the month would be the time of each meeting. You know, whether we can try to do it at 5, probably not earlier, maybe later. That's what we need to resolve at this meeting as much as anything.
How does everyone feel about, say, the second Thursday of every month?
I'm fine with that.
That would work for me as well.
The only problem I have, I know the second Thursday of August, I don't think I'll be here. That's the only problem I have. I do know that, for sure. Okay. Otherwise, second Thursdays generally should not present a problem.
Ms. Smith, is there a reason you picked the second Thursday? Could it be the third Thursday or a different one? Or is Thursday the best date?
Thursday just happened to be a good day. I know, let's see, in October, I would miss the third Thursday, but I could make any of the other ones. So,
the only one that I have a
Mr. Chair, your
conflict
schedule
with-
is certainly more important, especially in these beginning steps.
The only one I have a conflict with is the second Thursday, which is, what day of the week is that? Yeah, that I will. I don't want to schedule because I'm contemplating going out of Ohio. 75% sure, may not go, but, anybody have any other thoughts? I mean, you want to do it on, you say the third is one time you can't? What for other of you is the third? What kind of problem we have there? If we go with the third and see where we are August, September, and regarding, the October meeting. You know, Kate, if, we're okay, third, and then we see if we can reschedule, instead of having a third October, we have it, a different day, maybe the second. We'll see how we go.
Or we could do the same with August, right? So since you know you're not going to be here the second Thursday in August, we could schedule August for a different date, and then start in September, the second Thursday in September.
I think the first meeting probably is going to be more just us. After we review the charter and we start getting some familiarity of what's going on. We may have one or two persons just kind of telling us what's going on, and then really get to the meat of this thing starting in September, which if we want to, we can do it the second. How's that sound? We do the next meeting, the third Thursday of August, which is what date?
Third Thursday is the 17th.
No. August 17th.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm into September already, that's why.
I happen to know that date for a reason.
This is hard to read on my phone, I apologize. 20th, is that right? First is the 6th, 13th, 20th.
Yeah, Tuesday's the 18th. Yeah, August 20th. How is setting the next meeting for at 5? Is 5 o'clock a good time, Bill, for you and Jim?
Yeah,
Okay, well, why don't we set the next meeting, August 20th, at 5 o'clock, council chambers. And then try to set all future meetings on the second Thursday of the month?
That's September 10th for the next one.
What would be October?
October would be the 8th.
And what about November?
November looks like the 12th.
Okay, and I don't think those are gonna conflict with anything.
I don't
I mean,
believe
like-
so.
What's coming up? And then what would December be?
December looks like the 10th,
The 10th?
yes.
And I don't think there are any holidays in there.
No, November 11th is a holiday, but the 12th is fine.
November 11th is not a switch to a council meeting, right? Well, it's Thursday, so it doesn't make any
It's a
difference.
Thursday. I don't think
Yeah,
November's a
right.
problem. None of those should be a problem, Mr. Chair.
All right. Does anybody have any problem with those dates for tentative setting up our schedule? I'll repeat. The next meeting is going to be Thursday, August 20th. Then Thursday, September 10th. Thursday, August 8th. Thursday, November 12th, and Thursday, December 10th. All 2020. If that's acceptable, then I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I make that motion to approve.
Okay, second?
I second.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Nay? Motion carried. Okay, the next thing, I don't know, other business? So we'll leave it open, send it open. Anybody have anything else they want to bring up at this time?
Just have a quick note, Mr. Chairman, if I may, on that last item. At this point, I think we would contemplate having those meetings here in person, but that would be subject to change based on the conditions in the state of Ohio and nationally, state of emergencies and whatnot that may or may not come up. Right now, we're broadcasting this on YouTube for the general public to participate or to at least view it. In the future, these are public meetings. In the event the city hall is opened up, there could be, members of the public here, and it is subject to participation and questions from them. Just a note, that was all. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. My understanding is that from here on out, including this meeting, anybody of the public that wants to participate can come to the meeting, and there probably will be, during the course of those meetings, an opportunity for them to speak. It may be a little out of order of the way we're going, but it is a public meeting, and in my opinion, they're the ones that they should have the right to speak. I mean, that's part of the whole system.
I absolutely agree. My point was more based on, the technicalities of whether this is virtual or not, so to speak.
Right, yeah.
And that
I
might be
understand.
determined on a case-by-case, meeting-by-meeting basis.
Yeah. So, I think, question that I have, given this, the next meeting, do you know anybody that has approached you that wants to present any possible changes to this commission that you already know about?
Aside from myself, and I do have several, the law director as well, but again, she'll speak through me for purposes of this. I do not.
Okay, well, my feeling is that if there are any of such that want to come at that meeting, we should allow them to come. Does anybody have any objection to at least starting the outside process so we can kind of get a feel for what may be coming down the pike?
Oh.
Okay, then we'll, if you get us, just tell them, we don't want the whole world here, but at least we can get those that because there's certain people want to get involved, and let's let them get started.
I agree. I mean, as far as the in-city personnel, I will speak through the department heads on that matter to see whatever departments have noticed in the charter that they think could be streamlined or you need some changes. As far as the general public, I think obviously we're all part of that in some way, but I think the 5 of you were appointed because council saw that, you were active and you had a relationship with people outside of the building. So I would leave that mostly to you and to see if, if there's anybody else who wants to weigh in on this. That would be my suggestion, Mr. Chair.
The other thing I'm thinking about, I know that the paperwork that's going on in these charter review commissions is quite a substantial number of papers. Have we been able, and I think city council clerk has a file that probably deals with each change that has gone to the voters?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Which would be a lesser pile than what each charter review commission has put together. Does anybody have any interest in at least getting a flavor for what's been put to the voters in the past?
I do. I think that'd be very helpful.
All right, Phil?
I do, Mr. Chair. In fact, that was what I was going to ask, if we had access to any other historical documents.
We've talked about that before. Is it possible that we can get something put together for each member?
Yes, we will have that before the next meeting, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, it would be nice if we had it before the next meeting so they could at least scan and get an idea of what has gone to the voters on the yay and past. And
is everybody okay with receiving larger packets by email? Otherwise, I can have copies here ready for distribution, or, you know, we can mail it out or courier it, depending on everyone's preference.
Email is fine for me.
Yeah, whatever's easiest for you.
Same here.
Then expect sometime next week to receive a packet of those prior council packets that have gone to voters before.
Okay.
We'll send that out to you.
Anything else that anybody wants to bring before the committee?
Mr. Chair, are there any cautions under the sunshine laws that we need to be aware of?
Well, that's
in between meetings?
basically what we were discussing about the public. Couple of things. You know, these are public meetings. They're entitled, the public is entitled to come. They're entitled to, we're going to have minutes. They're entitled to all that. Just make sure that if, as commission members, all our deliberations pretty much are in public.
If I can add on to that a little bit, Mr. Chair, that's one of the reasons when you might recall several months ago when I first started emailing everybody about scheduling here, I requested that you not reply all with any substantive discussions. Email counts as a sunshine law, Public Meetings Act issue. So any email discussions, I would request that you keep them just to things like scheduling and nothing else.
That's fine, and thank you very much for that, Eric. Any other questions that we need to deal with before the next meeting? Well, I guess at this stage of the game, we should have a motion to adjourn. Anybody want to make such a motion?
So moved?
All right, second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor of motion to adjourn, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. No nays. Motion adjourned. Thank you all very much.